Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've been out flying all day and having a blast. I've been flying a lot of FPV lately. You've seen some of my previous videos, the FPV buildups that I've done for the Blade 350QX, and I did the 250 FPV racer and all that stuff. I'm just loving flying FPV. It's one of the most amazing flying experiences I've ever had, short of flying manned aircraft. When I'm down flying at our local field, I get a lot of people coming up and asking me, what I'm doing, because I look really kind of goofy with, the goggles on, and so my buddy that flies with me, who acts as my spotter, we'll sit there and talk to him a little bit about what I'm doing and how I'm flying, and I wanted to share that with people, so that they could really get an idea of what I see, as I fly FPV. And so I decided to build a ground station for, just to share it with people, so that they really can understand what it is. So I went out and I bought a case. And I got this at Walmart, of all places. And this is a Plano. Let's see, I'll show you that. It's a Plano gun case, and this is like 45 bucks from Walmart. But it's really really thick plastic. It's completely waterproof. You open it up, and you've got a rubber seal all the way around. So there's, you're guarded against the weather, which is really nice. These are really nice cases. This is actually the second one that I have. The first one I use for my transmitters. I keep my transmitters in it, and it's big enough. It's big enough to hold two transmitters, my DX8 and my Turnigy 9X, both. And then I've also got room for, my goggles, lanyards, and a couple other things that I keep in there, extra GoPro battery, that type of stuff. So these are really nice cases, and this is not a plug for Walmart, but that's where I got mine, because it was like 20 bucks cheaper than going to the sporting goods store and getting it. So really lucked out, really found a great deal. So I decided to make my ground station out of this case. And I was lucky enough to come across a flat screen TV that runs off 12 volt DC and is small enough to fit in here, but it's big enough so that people can see it. So I found this at a second-hand store. This is what is this here? Read the back, yeah. It's a 13-inch, it says it right there, 13-inch LCD TV, and it's got on the back, I don't know if you can see that, it's got your power input, and then your video and audio inputs, and you might be asking what those two, and I'll get to those in a couple minutes here. But this thing was kind of heavy, and so what I did was, on the back of it here, there was a little kick-out stand so that it would stand up like yay. Hang on just a second, let me adjust that. Okay, that's better. It was kind of heavy, and this thing, it's a few pounds. This is hefty. So I wanted to lighten it as much as possible. So I took the little stand on the back off, and then I went inside, opened it up, and I think there was like 8 screws, pulled this whole back off, and I pulled the speakers out of it. Because when we fly FPV, you're not getting sound out of it. So I that's just an extra few ounces that I could lose. And what's nice about this is on the back, it's already got wall mount screws in the back of it. So I really lucked out, and I found a power supply for it, at the secondhand store, and so I picked up that for like 20 bucks. So I was really lucky. A lot of guys use those LCD screens, like a 7-inch or a 9-inch LCD screen that strap to the back of your headrest on your car. So like you have a little DVD player for the kids, and it goes out to 2 screens. They just use those screens. And they're like 40 or 50 bucks on eBay. But you always want to make sure that you get the ones that don't go blue or solid screen as you start to lose signal. You want to make sure you get one that will kind of static, so that you can still kind of see the picture, you know. That's if you're using this solo. What I'm actually doing with mine is I'm just taking the video out because I don't have a separate receiver yet. So I'm taking the video out of my goggles, going into it, and I'll show you how we hook that up. I'm going to go through this whole build real quick with you guys, so that you can see exactly what I've done. So the first thing was measuring out the mounting bolts on the back and translating them, because I bolted it straight to the lid. So translating that to the lid here, and my luck, it was a 4x4 square, and so I measured it and plotted it out and filled the holes, and they lined up perfectly the first shot. So we've got those back here, and what I actually did is I got some spacers to keep it off the back of the case here, a ½ inch, just because I want a little bit of airflow behind it. You don't want it sucked right up to the back of the case, because it might overheat, and then bad things are going to happen. So I've got these ½ inch standoffs or spacers. They're just nylon spacers. Any hardware store. I got mine. I think I got mine at Lowe's. And then I've got the machine screws, and I think these are number 8 machine screws. But you can, whatever, you're going to have to get whatever size you need. Everything's going to vary. And there's a panel that goes right here, and this is where all the video inputs and all the power and stuff goes. So what I did was I actually went to Lowe's, my local Lowe's, and I got a sheet of this stuff, and this is wainscoting, and you can see here it's only about an 1/8 inch thick. It's not very thick stuff, but it's really, really durable, and it's lightweight. This stuff's really strong. And it's got a surface right here. It's almost like a dry erase board. I don't have any dry erase markers, so I haven't tried to write on it and rub it off yet, but that'd be pretty cool. It's like, leave yourself notes on it before you fly, and be like, sitting at home, and you can leave yourself a little note, check this when you get out for the flying field, whatever. But what was cool about this case is it comes with these guys, so that you can punch out different shapes. If you're going to put tools or guns or whatever in there, you can punch out the different shapes and lay them in there. Well, so I just took, and this is what I messed up on, so I just took this and traced around it and used a roto zip to cut it out. And then Radio Shack. I know a lot of them are going out of business, but Radio Shack is still an awesome place to go to get all the stuff. So I'm going to grab my control board here. Well, call it the control board because all the stuff is on this here. So this is the power supply that is for the TV, and this is a 12 volt 1.5 amp power supply, and it's got of course the barrel plug, and so I went down to Radio Shack, and there it is. Went down to Radio Shack. First thing I did was I matched up the barrel plug. and this is just a simple, you unscrew that and you solder it on. And I got the female receptacle for that in a bulkhead fitting. So what I've got here, this is my control board. Take a seat here real quick. Okay, so I've got my AC in, and I said I don't have dry erase markers. Yeah, that's Sharpie. So I got my AC in and I got my DC in because using two banana clips, going to an EC3 connector, I can use a 3S battery and power this sucker. So I've got my DC in, I got my banana plugs on there. Over here I've got my power switch, and this lights up blue when the switch is on. And then I've got my video inputs, and there's two video inputs. I'm only using the first one so far. Okay, so the back side of this. So we got our power in over here, and the power in goes into this here termination block. So you got your negative and your positive, and then you got coming out to, I'm trying to do this, see I'm using my tablet. I always use my tablet to do these videos, and I'm using the front facing camera so I can see the screen and so I can follow along, but I'm having to do it backwards. Okay, so you got your power coming in and your power coming out of the termination block. You follow this up, and this goes all the way over to here to the switch. And the way this switch works is you have the ground, then you have a hang on just a sec. Sorry about that. I guess I left one of the transmitters on and it was beeping at me. Okay, so anyway, so you got your ground and you got your power coming. Power comes in to one of these two and then goes out to the load. So, and the ground is to light up the light. So we have power coming in, power coming back out of the switch, and then we come back over here to the termination block. So this lead here is the load. This is our switched power supply. So we have always hot, switched power. Now we take our switched power, and this goes all the way back over here and back up and out, and comes out the front side to our barrel plug that goes to the TV. So this is how we supply the power to the TV. Then for the video in, so we've got video, audio, left and right, respectively. So these guys, and these are bulkhead fittings, these are phonograph fittings from Radio Shack again. So they all screw into the back. Okay, so we've got 3 pair of wires running over here. So we've got our video, our left and our right, positive and negative. And so these all run over here, and they come in here. Your video, positive and negative video, and then the audio, because I only had 3 left, and since audio shares a ground anyway, you have your left and your right, and then you have your grounds going to your common ground here. And then everything you can see is labeled over here as to what it is. And then, okay, so then your video and your audio go out along the black cable out, and this is your feed for the TV. But that's the basics of it. And then of course this guy right here is the radio receiver, or radio, well yeah, transceiver rather, for my Iris. I just velcroed it down. I plug it in and set my tablet right across here. And then of course I've got a piece of Velcro so that when I'm actually powering this off of DC or off of a 3S LiPo, I can Velcro it right here and run the wires up to here. So that's, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's very simple and straightforward to do. It took me about an hour, hour and a half to get this together. And there's room for expansion. I can always add stuff to this if I want. I'm thinking about, when I get one from Hobby King, having a voltage indicator over here, so that when I'm running it off of the battery, I know how much battery life I have left on the ground station. To mount this in here, really I figured how deep I wanted this to be. Oh, excuse me, I wanted it to be. And then with some L brackets here, these are like 1/2 inch L brackets, just measured down, and I've got 6 of them all the way around there. And because this is a tight enough fit, I don't really need to screw it down or secure it in any way. It's snug enough. It's got a snug enough friction fit in there that it rests on top of those L brackets. Really, those are just to keep to get the right height, and so you do not cockeyed. So this really just slides down in there, and it does not come out. And that's actually the reason why I leave this 3D radio in here, because it's Velcroed down, and it provides me a handle because I still haven't gotten handles for it. Okay, so we got the control panel. So we'll pop the control panel back in, and we're ready for the TV. Now, and I told you I would explain what these guys are here. Because I took the speakers out of the TV. Nope. I wanted to be able to still have sound, to use this as an amplifier, because I always have my tablet or my phone with me when we're flying. It'd be nice to have some music, and so I'm planning on mounting the speakers in the control panel, and then running, and this is a little bit redundant, but hey, it is what it is, because this does have an amplifier in it. These are the speakers out. Motherfucker. Yeah, don't want to talk to you right now, doing a video. Okay, these are the audio out from the speakers. The main board, they come out here and here, and so they're just ran over to these guys because I had 2 extra, so might as well use them, right? And now that way I can take, because I have extra cable, extra RCA cable, which is the other half of this cable. I can just take the 2 audio guys off of here and hook them up to that and bring them back to the speaker so that I can play music when I'm out flying. It's, it's not necessary. It's just kind of one of those things like, hey, it's cool. So, mounting this guy up, it's not too hard. So we're going to go ahead and take our power, and we're going to plug the power in. Power's in, and then our inputs, and plug those suckers up to the back. This is the hardest part right here, and that's actually screwing these 2 together, because it's so close, because this is such a big screen. And I honestly, if I was going to do this build again, I would not use this screen, and I'm actually looking for a smaller one, because it's just so damn heavy. Even with the lighting up, once it's bolted up here, this has a tendency to fall over backwards. So I actually have to strap the thing down. So I've got these little tables that I use when I'm out flying. that thing is literally, the front of it is strapped down because it's so fucking heavy. So to do this here, sorry, I'm almost out of frame. Yeah. But we're going to strap this down so that I can show you exactly how this looks. Okay, let's strap it down. So, okay. Oh, come on, you sucker. Get in the hole. Okay. And let me move this over here. Okay. There is the FPV ground station. Now we will turn it on. So take the barrel plug and put in the AC in. Turn it on. And there she go. Now, like I say, this is a $20 TV that I got from a secondhand store, so the image is a little bit messed up over here. You know, it happens. It's fine, because it was 20 bucks, and I now have the ability to share what I'm seeing FPV with you know, people who come by and, you know, I want to check this out when we're flying. So if you, this is my Fat Shark setup. It's the Teleporter V3 system, and it comes with this cable which plugs into your video out right there. So we're going to go ahead and plug our deals in, and because I am OCD, they all have to be plugged in. We'll go ahead and turn the goggles, handcuffs. Turn the goggles on here, and so we've got our signal. And grab a battery. And I just actually picked this up last night from Hobbytown. This is the Fat Shark FSV 1601 FSV 1601 transmitter. The camera doesn't come included with it, but that's the transmitter right there, and it has a the circularly polarized antenna built into it, which is really cool. And so I built a little FPV backpack that I can easily switch out from like boat to a car to whatever, and leave the my big system, because this is only the, I believe this is the 25 milliwatt transmitter. I leave the 250 hooked up to the 350QX. And for whatever damn reason, I don't know why it's been doing that. It did not do it at the park earlier today, and I think it might just be it does not really like this camera. Okay, so I switched out real quick to the 350QX because I wanted to show you exactly how clear the picture quality is, even with this little broken piece in the screen. So you get the idea now that I've got the cable hooked up, and so I can sit here flying, and it's not as if I'm flying, and I'm not taking a stroll around because, well, I can't see. So I'm always parked in the chair anyway, so I don't mind the cable, and I'm just mindful that I don't stand up and take them off and go walk off, to go pick up the quad as I bring it back in. I always take the headsets off and set them back in the case, and they usually sit right about there. So you get the idea that now I can share what I'm viewing with anybody who comes down and is asking me questions. And I had a guy today come down, was curious about it, and so I said, hey, let me take it up and you can see what I see. And he was, he sat there for a good 15-20 minutes as we sat and BS'd, and he watched a couple flights, on the ground station. The only thing that I do need to do is build a shroud around here so that you can see the screen, with the sunlight. But what also is really nice about this is because I've got the 350QX and I've got the GoPro set up, if I wanted to sit here and review my footage, I can sit here and watch any one of my flights on the ground station without having to put the goggles on, and so I can sit here and watch the flight. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video on how to put together an FPV ground station. If you like the video, go ahead and like. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm always answering questions on my videos. So if you like it, like I say, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and click subscribe. And thank you for watching.